Okay, so we'll go ahead and title this guy after our stream account. Okay. I am male. I am kind of white. So we will model this character after what I look like in real life. You can actually play around with slider bars to custom create your character, but we're not here to go over all the different character creation features. We're just going to try to level up real quick. And we're going to do something so that way I can remember where we are. So you start off on talking with Edvard, who tells you to pick up a sword. And after you close out of that, you cannot really talk to him a lot. So we are going to end the conversation by saying bye. Okay. So the first thing you're supposed to do is to use WASD as your navigation tool. So do that. Another means of navigation is to hold down the two mouse buttons together. So you just drag that sword onto your body and it will drop it out into your inventory. So this one automatically equips it, but normally you actually have to bring up your inventory with the I key and then you would actually drag it. So we're also going to equip this. Instead of having the torch equipped, we are going to equip a shield so that way we can minimize our damage. So in order to go into combat, we do need to hit the Z key and we can attack the dummy. Now by default, we actually have a locked skill bar, and if you notice, we have little timers going on some of these skills, and so as we use them, it starts off a timer. So you can actually go through, and if you also notice that your mana bar will decrease as you use skills. Now a locked skill bar does have some advantages in that you always know what skills are available, but the disadvantage is that it uses more mana, and it also does not allow you to stack skills. Now eventually they are going to actually add a feature into the game that will actually ding your karma or your virtues whenever you open a corpse. I do not believe, so if you look at the tooltip, it says dead bodies often have things of value in them. The question is, will you take the chance of someone watching you while you rifle through their pockets? There is no correct answer, and few would begrudge you a few gold coins if you're in your current predicament. Our current predicament is that we are dead broke and we're starting off in a new world. But don't be surprised when your actions result in consequences later. So we're going to go ahead and close out of all of that. In order to get out of this scene, we don't want to play in the fire because that will damage us and set us on fire. If you notice, we have a burning building. We have things. We actually have two gates. But if we try to go out the wrong gate, we should get a message that tells us wrong gate. So we are going the wrong way. So I am leaving hints on so that way until we get out of this scene, and then I'm going to disable the hints forever. In order to jump, you do use your space bar. Additionally, whenever you actually want to talk to someone else, you can just hit the enter in order to enter in chat. We do have other shields that we can actually pick up and use. We cannot use this catapult, unfortunately. Maybe that will be implemented. So we do have a skeleton right there that did say death. So if we look at that, the skeleton's talking to itself, and it has come on up. Remember, if we get hit first, we are automatically put in war mode, but we need to start attacking it. So we're going to take advantage of these special skills just by hitting the numbers. There's two different ways you can do that. You can either click on them, or you can just hit the number on your keyboard. Remember, it is in our best interest right now to loot everything, so that way we have some money. We should end up with about 200 gold by the time that we get out of this little scene. And there is another skeleton that is coming after us. This one is running back to where it actually spawned. We're just outside of its actually aggro range, so it is resetting itself. And then loot, loot, loot. Okay, if you're out of war mode, you actually regenerate mana and health a lot faster. If you are in war mode, you should notice that it actually slowly crawls up. So it's in our best interest when we're not in combat to come out of combat mode. Notice that guy reset himself, so these skeletons do have a very small aggro range because they did not want you to die. And that skeleton is supposed to be telling us that Ardoris will die, and Ardoris does need to be capitalized. It is a proper name. So loot everything that you can. For now, until the virtue system is completely active. Remember, this is pre-alpha. Okay, we do see Edvard again. We will need to talk to him before we leave, but we are going to loot a few more corpses. So this one you cannot loot. We do see that the scene is completely on fire. It does tell us there are more undead coming, but we're going to go ahead and go back. I don't see any more corpses on the ground. Let's talk to Edvard and see how do we get out of here. Okay, so we do have a farewell. He did tell us that there is a little boat down here by the water's edge. So let's go ahead and go down to the water's edge and get out of here. So we have that. We're going to go ahead and disable hints, and we are leaving. Once again, you can watch my live stream on twitch.tv/Cineassist. You'll also find this information on nbnn.info. Okay, so when you port into Soul Town, you are ported immediately into the middle of town to where you can actually talk with these guys. Now there is a guild in-game known as the Aether Vision. They are a guild of streamers. I am actually in the NBNN news team. And we're go ahead and tell him what we're doing. He was actually given a developer's tool that does allow him to actually paint his armor, I believe. So let's go ahead and go talk to this merchant, and we're going to sell some of our goods that we looted. We need to click on them, and then we need to click on sell from inventory. So if you notice, we can sell 3 rusty swords, and then there's not a lot we need to do. So what we're going to do for the 2 quests that we can do really quickly to actually get new and better gear is to actually enter the bar. And inside the inn is the traveling banker, so you can actually store goods, or you can actually collect everything that you bought off the online store, or anything based off of your pledge level. So I am going to be doing this in newbie gear, just like a brand new person. But this refugee right here in the corner, his name is Bentley. You do not know his name until you ask it. So when you go up and talk to him, you can always ask him the question, what is your name? Okay, he will tell you that he used to be a farmer and he's going to ask you to go get a key from his house and that he is not going back. So we are going to go do that real quick. We are going to be running to the exit. So if we think about it, logically, we find a road and we're just going to choose a direction and we are going to get out of town. Now remember, you have two options for running. Either 2 hands on the mouse or 2 fingers on both mouse button, the left and the right mouse button. That will also allow you to look around. If you just normally use your right mouse button, that is just free look. Otherwise you end up navigating with the WASD, which I'm doing right now, and I'm using the right mouse button to free look. Although it does actually make me run around kind of in circles wherever I'm looking. So we found an exit to the map. So the first quest that we're doing, we were told to go find the East Perennial Trail, which is right here outside of town. And we need to go find Bentley's cabin. So we found it on the overland map and we ran to it and we entered that scene. So we're in a new scene. This is actually a swamp scene. The first time I did this quest, I ran around for an hour looking for this house and I never found it because I never came right in and looked to my left. Immediately to the left is a little cabin that's kind of hidden. And so we're going to see a couple bodies on the outside. This one has nothing on it. This one has nothing on it, which means someone is inside the house right now. So we're going to go inside, and it is actually a pony. We're going to go ahead and go. Now there are a couple of ways to do some of those in-game emotes. You can either bring up the menu by hitting O, or you can just turn around and drag. So the key will actually respawn in a minute, but if you notice this right here, this little book right here is a curious ledger, and it appears that, you know what, he may not be doing something that he's supposed to be doing. So what's really going on here? Let's go ahead and go upstairs, and we're going to see that we've got all these brown jugs on the ground. We can take them if we want to, and we have what appears to be a still. That kind of makes sense. So he is actually making moonshine. So we're going to run back out of here, and we're going to go turn in this quest. We're going to see how long it takes us to get to level 11, level 12. So we're running back into Soul Town. Real quick jaunt. We're going to turn in this quest and we'll make some money. So we do have to run all the way back in. Now if you want to run, it looks like we've got a nice little jog, but if we want to run, we have to double click the W key, and that uses our mana. If you notice, mine is going down extremely quickly, and I'm already out, so we have to go back to our jog. So we need to go back into the inn. Go ahead and light the lantern. Talk to Bentley. And we're going to tell him that we have his key. So he gives us 2,000 XP. That's because I have doubled XP right now, so normally 1,000 XP and 500 gold, which actually gave us a level. Now he did ask us whether or not we saw anything suspicious. We did see his ledger, so we're going to ask him about his ledger. And actually, that breaks the dialogue with them, which is pretty funny, because, you know what, do criminals like being confronted? So we actually gained 2 levels after that, so let's go ahead and talk to the skills trainer. Now we can invest in some foraging, so that way we can actually do a little bit better job of, say, mining things. So we're going to go ahead and spend our skill points in forestry and mining, so that way we have a better chance to that. And we have 18 points in adventuring that we can spend. I'm going to create later videos that actually go into this in a lot more detail, but right now we're going to go ahead and go spend some more in blades, just that way we can do a little bit more damage. Blades are not particularly my favorite at low levels. I'll discuss that in the future. Let's go ahead and get out of town. This time we're going to go to the other direction, and we're going to go out the south entrance. If you see the skull right here, that means a player did die in town. Skeleton. This one appears to be a slightly longer run out of town, but we're still out of town. So we're going to go to Owl's Head, and we're going to go do the Clink quest, which is started by Myra. And Myra is a farmer in the market, but in order to get to Owl's Head, we have to actually go on the overland map, which now allows us to actually sit there and look up, look down, swirl around, and see a little bit further in the distance. You can always zoom in a little bit. The overland map is meant for fast travel, fast-ish. You get to run everywhere. So in order to get to Owl's Head, we have to enter Solace Bridge, and we're going to go through the gateway to Owl's Head. Just follow the path around. You can stay here and fight and level up some, but we're trying to level up as fast as possible. So we did the Bentley quest, so we got his key back. Now we are going to run all the way to Owl's Head, and we're going to go into the Clink. So inside of Owl's Head, we are actually going to be running to the farm of Myra. No, I'm going to go ahead and reduce my video game performance, just that way we get better frames per second. Hopefully. You may notice that some people have titles over their head. If you actually want a title over your head, you can just hit the asterisk on your number pad, which is the multiplication symbol, and it will allow you to actually choose from your available titles. Let's see, we'll go ahead and just go with Adventurer. So it puts it over your name, so we're coming over here to Myra, who is just known as a farmer until you actually get her name. to ask Myra about her brother. So he's in the clink. It's a debtor's prison. And so... Oh, and she tells you that she came into possession of a master key for the clink. And she has given us the key. She did not ask us offer us whether or not we will help her free her brother. And so we are going to go to the clink, which is in the upper part of Owl's Head. There are two parts, the lower and the upper. The upper is actually a part of the walled city. The lower part is just a town. And in Owl's Head you have the Fire Lotus Tavern, which is named after Fire Lotus, our community manager. And we're going to the clink. We're going to go into the most direct way in. There's two ways in. You can either go in here, or you can go in through the guardhouse. Actually, we're going to go in through the guardhouse. I believe it drops us a little bit further into the map. And that is actually just a basement entrance. So if you go into the guardhouse and you look for the basement hatch, which is right here, that takes us into the clink. Now if you notice, I don't have any light, so it is actually kind of dark. There's a chest in here that we can loot. As well, it is worth some money. We are poor, so I need to bring out my torch. So brought up my inventory, brought up my character sheet, and you can actually interact with the torches in the game. You can open them up, and we're going to go ahead and open up this. This is much further in. So we do have to fight a kobold. Each of the skills has a little added benefit. Double slash does 2 attacks. Riposte will actually increase the defense value, and rend will actually do a damage over time. And you can always use dodge to reduce your damage a little bit. Red numbers over your head, that is damage that you are taking. So that is a very close battle. I almost died. You can actually interact with things in game. You can destroy crates. You can take books. So this is a blank book. So let's go ahead and finish this. Now there is actually a way to actually get in and out with only having to fight that one mob, and that's what we're going to try to do. You notice that those large grizzly bears, there are 3 of them in this room. So we need to talk to this prisoner. Oh, we have Myron. Okay. Okay, in order to give Myron the key, initially you might want to actually try to trade. That won't work, but you have to type in yes. Okay, that will give him the key, and then he drops it. Okay, so, and since there's no escape, he's asking you to kill him. Now, you can actually kill him, or you can choose to let him die. That is up to you. But that is essentially the end of that quest. I do not have a bow on me, so I cannot shoot him. So I will leave him to his own death. I don't want to jump and die to the grizzly bear either. Now when you do run through NPCs, they do slow you down a little bit, so be prepared for that. So we need to just run around our way around here and get out of here. We will actually go out through the main exit. Now the guard says there's a riot going on. I didn't see much of a riot. So we do actually have a resource down in here, along with that is actually a mimic. That is not an actual chest. So we are getting out of here. There is actually a hidden chest in here. I just don't know exactly where it is right now. So if you notice, the riot did actually end up killing some of the guards. So let's go ahead and loot them, because that is free money for us. So So we do have a secret panel right here. So go ahead and open it up, and we will go find. You can actually loot everything. So this is our secret chest down in here. So the iron dagger with an iron hilt, notice it's worth 1,000. We can also take this sword off of here. It does lead us back out of here. So if you see that right there, you can just double tap on that and that opens it up. That is the guard room earlier. I'm gonna cheat and get out the easy way. Okay, remember, sell things at weapon vendors in order to get money. Just run across. You need to click on sell from inventory. So if you notice, it is only worth 300 gold right now, and that is because it is damaged. I am going to actually change to bludgeons very soon. So we're going to go ahead and sell everything. get as much money as possible before we actually do anything. So that gives us up to 1,400 gold right now. Now let's go talk to Myra. What kind of get together, Troy? Okay, ready to see what level I get to right now. Got 7,500 XP and 1,000 gold from that. So that took us all the way to level 13. If you start off with this one at level 5, it will actually take you to level 10. So you can just talk to the skill trainer and get some new skills.